There will be spoilers ahead. Lots of spoilers, so be careful, won't you? Hey, Max?
What?
Hey, Max?
What?
Hey, Max, hey, Max, hey, Max, hey, Max, hey, Max?
What?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
It's okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can ask you, it's okay?
Yeah, I said it's okay. Ask.
Please, Bumpy, please, Bumpy, 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 please, Bumpy, please.
You are not asking me anything if you call me Bumpy.
But it's okay, I can ask you?
Just ask your bleeping question! What?
Is it time for the show?
Is it time for... You know it's time for... Why do I put up with... And you're hosting! Will you just get on with it, please?
Bumpy, please, Bumpy, 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 please. Oh, no. I think we've just did enough for one day. This is indeed Max Mike Movies, home of the Plopper, TM. The podcast with extra pony to get you through your day. We're hip deep in our series Directors in Short Pants, and this week we're aiming our sharp-lipped lens at that suave director about town, Spike Lee, and no, I have no idea what that means. His film, She's Gotta Have It, announced his presence in Hollywood, his first outing on the silver screen, which is why we're spotlighting it on our show. Speaking of show, we have to have a host, and boy, howdy do we. Sitting atop his perch of show business is that dictum of taste, Max, how the hell do I get out of this podcast, Levine? Say something, please, Max. Bumpy, Bumpy, please.
I'm sorry, but I have to hurt you now. Repeatedly.
And me, I'm everyone's annoying little brother, Mike. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Loose.
Yeah, does this bug you? I'm not touching you.
No, you're not. Before I take things too far, let's give you a chance. Let's give you a chance with the answers to our poll question. Last week, we asked if you thought movie violence should be cartoony and over the top or more realistic and brutal. This is what you had to say. Vince, that masked avenger of all things Canadian, wrote to us via the website. He said, quote, like most things, it depends. I am not a fan of lots of violence in films, but if it's done in a way that works for the film, I won't complain. I would prefer less explicit gore and violence overall, as it's mostly just exploitative or cruel and a cheap way to get attention. Not showing it can be much more disturbing and effective in many cases. Over-the-top violence can work well, like in the movie Reanimator.
That is a really interesting choice of example.
It is, but it is just so gross and out there it moves into comedy. He's not wrong. A film like Alien has some pretty horrifying scenes, and it works to make the movie much scarier, as even the gore in it is something so alien, the viewer is on edge not knowing what will happen next. The Kill Bill movies have literal cartoon blood that almost brings them to an anime level. Not movies I like myself, but it's a way to be violent without being too gross about it, end quote. Well written, Canadian Avenger.
Nicely put. And nicely translated from Canadian into English.
It's French, but that's okay. Luckily, he did not write it in French, because I would have been lost.
That's what Google translates for, and we can find out that he's talking about serving a shoe with cheese and massaging your grandmother.
Well, yeah. Oh, anyway. Via the old email mailbag, we got a nice missive from Bill O'Lading, Max.
Bill O'Lading.
Thank you.
Yes.
He sent, quote, as a lawyer, I will proudly say, it depends. As with many aspects of storytelling.
Deja vu.
As with many aspects of storytelling, humor, wit, music, cinematography, realism versus stylism, it all depends on the tone and context. There is great cinema that depicts violence in cartoonish and thrilling ways, Kill Bill 2003, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, that serves the fantastical narrative. There are films whose realistic depiction of violence get right to the core of things, Pulp Fiction 1994, Children of Men 2006, and reveal the horrors and pains of those worlds. Others might seem violent on paper and in our memories, but upon rewatching, actual violence, i.e. people being injured, killed directly on screen, is scarcer off-screen entirely. Jurassic Park 1993, Independence Day 1996. I mean, Will Smith does punch that alien right in the head, so I don't know. It really depends. Answering broadly, I would say cartoonish and bloodless is best, but there's room for everything in our movie house, end quote. I wonder who that is. But
our house in the middle of the street?
Two cats in the lawn? On the road? No. Yes. Anyway. Gee, I'm so surprised that Mr. Tarantino has made such an appearance so soon. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, twice so far.
Yep.
Swinging over to Facebook, we got some comments. First up, Byron Ho. Quote, "It depends on the movie." Like John Wick.
Okay, did you guys all talk beforehand?
Like John Wick, it needed to be realistic, but in Kill Bill, the cartoony worked for the storyline, end quote. Well, there you go. And Tarantino again. Thanks, Byron. Nick Hoffman was next with, quote, "It really does depend on the type of story. Saving Private Ryan." Saving Private Ryan, for instance, it demanded gritty realism in order to hold the audience. Compare that with Kung Fu Hustle, which is gloriously silly but just as violent, end quote. Ooh, we get some of that good old Hong Kong fun. Thanks, Nick.
And Stephen Chow rules.
Yeah, if you have not seen Kung Fu Hustle or Shaolin Soccer,
they're so much fun.
Look them up. They're so fun.
They really are.
Regan McStravick's answer was, quote, "Shoot 'em Up is one of my favorite films in the ultra-violent genre." I haven't heard of it either. On the other hand, Saving Private Ryan and Inglourious Bastards go the other way and work, so I guess I concur with the previous two comments, end quote. I feel a lot of concurring going on. Thank you, Regan.
I think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, a conspiracy of concurring.
Yeah.
We're never going to get through this. Nope. Steve Kellner posted, quote, "Gotta agree with everyone else, with the addition that there can be some nuances here. Grossy Pointy Blanky is a comedy with an edge to it. The assassinations are played as almost throwaways and balanced with his very human scenes in the set with his secretary. So when he comes into his reunion, it's merely funny, but when a competitor comes after him and they fight in the hallway, it's brutal, painful, and convincing, and not drawn out the way many violent movies work today. It's never cartoony as such, but sometimes I think they minimize the violence when it helps us appreciate the protagonist. It's worth noting that John Cusack had that battle with his kickboxing instructor, so they were capable of very convincing yet safe fighting, end quote.
Kenny the Jet Arquitez.
Yeah, and he's not weird looking.
Nope.
Another great answer. Thanks, Steve. Charles Forsyth wrote, quote, "What's bad is when the tone of the violence doesn't match the tone of the movie. Imagine the visceral, realistic violence of Reservoir Dogs or Fargo in Deadpool. It would be disturbing. The humor would seem really inappropriate and sick. Now imagine the cartoon violence of Commando in Saving Private Ryan. It would rob the latter film of its emotional impact and depth." End quote.
I lied.
I think I'm going to have to totally agree. Thanks, Charles. Well, time to find out what's making that little red light blink on the hotline. I'm betting it. Oh,
what?
No.
What?
It's not another steamy message from Doris. Why?
What? Has she abandoned me?
Maybe, but this one seems to be from a secret admirer.
Secret admirer?
Let's listen.
Okay.
I am a secret admirer of your show. You cannot tell who I am, for I will not leave my name. So, with regard to violence on TV, back when I was young, Tipper Gore was complaining about it, and she was telling people, violence in TV and video games is bad and has a bad moral effect. And I thought she was stupid at the time. But more recently, I saw Charlie Kirk get shot and realized that I'd seen many equally gruesome scenes on TV, and that it didn't shock me particularly much, even though it was a horrible death. And so that makes me think that she may have had a point. And in that regard, in terms of realism, I don't like fights where people are doing things that are physically impossible, or when they are doing things that are obviously stupid, like where their guard is out of place and you know they'd get clocked if they were up against anybody who had any idea what they were doing. I also always find it funny watching for whether or not the hero is capable of getting up after being knocked on the ground, because there are not many ways of looking good when standing up from having been knocked down if you're not acrobatic. I don't like sadistic violence. I think violence is often a cheap trick used to create pathos. For example, when Bruce Wayne watches his parents get killed in front of him, that works okay. I'd rather see parents killed in front of children than children in front of parents, but mostly I find that can be a cheap trick, and I think the scriptwriter should be able to do a better job in creating pathos than just subjecting people to abuse. I don't like the torture scenes. I don't think that shows should encourage violence. I can see slapstick as being funny when it's not too sadistic, but I don't really think violence should be encouraged on TV. The most recent example, I saw a show called Terminal List on Amazon, and it was just toxic male American patriot violence. 2 Americans, 3 Americans could take on 40 Iranians. The Iranians ran around looking stupid and ran into traps. The Americans, of course, spotted the traps and avoided them, and people just recovered for no reason. And so over and over again, I thought, gee, this is ludicrous. And since the brotherhood of the fighters was the core message of the story, for the fight scenes to be so one-sided and stupidly choreographed really bothered me. Well, I hope I've said what there is to say on the subject of violence on TV or in movies.
Wow. Well, thank you, Secret Admirer. Yes.
Who are you, mysterious stranger?
Oh, we really appreciate your well-thought-out thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, if we
very
only
detailed.
Knew who it was.
Who could it be?
Actually, I do really
If any of you know, we're going to have a contest.
I appreciate anybody using the hotline, because
yes, we do appreciate it, and that's really interesting.
Yeah. So,
man,
lots of breadth to that answer. Doesn't like torture.
Lot to process.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Thank you very much. And we will find out who you are. Oh, yes, we will. I have my agents working on it now.
Sure, agents of Spoon. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I guess that's... Oh, wait a minute. That little light is blinking again.
I knew it. I knew my little pomegranate seed wouldn't abandon me.
Yeah.
Talk to me, my velvet-voiced little nightingale.
Yeah, here's the steamy date-related response from Max's sweetie zucchini, Doris. So let's listen before Max starts to drool.
Where's my banaka?
Hello, Max Mike Movies. Hi, Max. This is Doris Simplemeier here to answer your poll question for the week, which happens to be, if there is violence in a movie, is it better for it to be bloodless and cartoony or realistic and brutal? Well, I think it really depends on the movie, and I also don't think that it doesn't have to be cartoony to not be brutal, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, I don't want to see blood in a Maltese Falcon. Just, it's a movie it's about the drama, and it hits harder when it's not bloody for that movie. But on the other hand, if I'm watching something like, I don't know, Saving Private Ryan, if there wasn't any blood, I'd go, what happened to the movie? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my answer. I'm just going to say it really depends. And, sometimes it's just too much blood, and that's the kind of movie I don't want to watch. Max knows. He knows the kind of movies I like. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to hearing next week's episode. Bye.
Well, it seems that word depends. And we're not talking about adult diapers here. Apparently it depends.
No, why would we?
Yeah, but Max, you wear them on your head, which I still have never understood.
Isn't that what you're supposed? I thought it said
those
that.
are not eye holes. Anyway.
Oh.
So depends. Thank you, Doris. We always appreciate your answers.
Oh, don't we ever.
Well, one of us does. What about you, Max? What is your take on violence in movies?
Well, in adult diapers. I mean, Now, I got to go with Charles. It depends on the actual overall tone of the movie itself. If the movie, first off, I would argue that John Wick is not realistic violence. We see him fall off like 9 buildings and just go, ouch, that totally hurt. But It has to fit the tone of the movie. If you're doing a gritty, realistic war movie, then it makes sense that the violence, like, again, the one that people keep bringing up is Saving Ryan's Privates, or whatever it was.
Never saw it.
Saving Matt Damon.
Why would anyone want to save Matt Damon?
I don't know. Save a baby seal, a spotted owl. But,
is it actually? Have you seen it? Is it any good?
I have. I think it is good. It's honestly, except the way it's presented is different in that, it's much grittier than a lot of the D-Day movies. But it's a story we've seen before. But the performances are good. Yeah, I think it's worth seeing mostly as a completionist thing, but strap in. It's hard to watch and it is long.
I think I'll just say no.
Yeah. So again, if it fits the tone of the movie, then I don't think it's one or the other. It just has to be appropriate to the movie. What about you?
Well, my answer is a little complicated. I am not a fan of really realistic violence, brutal violence. One of the main reasons I don't like Tarantino is he likes to shove that camera right in the violence and rub your nose in it. I'm not real fond of that. But my thing is, I think it's the result of the violence that's more important to the story, and that its depiction is more often used as a lazy shorthand, padding, or reaction causing. We don't really need to see it for its impact to affect the story in most cases. It's just, I think it's just pandering, or it's glorifying or something, but it's what happens because of the violence that's really important to a story, not where he gets punched, but the fact that his arm's broken, or he needs to be kissed on the elbow, or whatever the results are of the particular violence. At least that's how I see it. So
okay, that's valid. That's an interesting point.
But all of yours were great answers, and thank you. You always make us think, and that's a good thing, because otherwise we have no use for this thing behind our eyeballs, the big gray thing. So, hey, why not try it again? We'd like to know, who is your favorite cinematic female character? Write us, call us, post! We'll remind you how later, but for now, let's get back to She's Gotta Have It. And
the facts.
This movie was made on the cheap, that's for sure. It only cost $175,000.
Wow, it's a lot more than El Mariachi.
That is true. But that investment yielded $7.1 million.
Dang!
Yeah.
No wonder they called him a wonderkind.
Yeah, but one of the ways Spike Lee paid for the movie was to ask his casting crew to gather up soda cans after break so he could turn them in for deposit money.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Boutonniere money. Yeah, that's a thing.
It's like Robert Townsend maxing out his credit cards.
Yeah. Following in the steps of William One-Shot Bodine, and because he only had 12 days to shoot in, Spike only used single takes for everything. Wow.
Ooh, yikes.
We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, I think I do think he was slightly more successful than Mr. Bodine.
Probably. Who would call their kid Mars? Well, Spike Lee's great-great-grandfather's parents, that's who, and that's where he got his character's name. And speaking of the character Mars Blackman, he would show back up in ads for Nike's Air Jordans.
Is it the shoes? Michael?
Baby shoes. I don't know.
Yeah,
Speaking of that,
those ads.
What is with the please baby please bit? It was a sign that Spike Lee forgot his line and just repeated that until he remembered it. He liked it, so he left it in.
Well, why not? That works.
Yeah. Apparently, as sexiful as this movie was, we're seeing a cut version, as the original cuts were going to get the movie an X rating.
I wondered.
Bets on it being full frontal male stuff?
Probably.
There was actually discussion that it was done just because the people rating the films didn't like to see black people in bed, which
wouldn't surprise me.
Gets stuffed.
Yes.
Where did Spike Lee learn to direct? Why, from NYU and one of his instructors, Martin Scorsese.
Oh, yeah. He did a couple of period pieces or something.
It's Scorsese, he never amounted to anything.
German fella, huh?
Yeah. To be fair, this is not Spike Lee's first film. That was 1983's Joe's Bed-Stuy Barbershop, We Cut Heads, but that wasn't released. It was his master's thesis at NYU.
Oh, okay. Well, we were doing first, release, so.
Yeah. I just wanted to cover that in case people were, excuse me, but that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Nerds!
Yeah, I'm looking right at one.
What, is someone else there?
Just you.
No. Hey!
He's quick, isn't he? A sequel? Kinda, sorta. This movie was adapted into a TV show in 2017. It ran to seasons and 19 episodes. Hey, everyone, remember when a season was 26 episodes long? Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
Darren Aronofsky said that seeing this movie was what inspired him to become a film director.
Thanks a lot, Spike.
And I like Darren Aronofsky.
I know. It's just such a good setup.
And who inspired Lee? Kurosawa and his film Rashomon.
Dang.
Which one might be able to draw some parallels between Rashomon and this film, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Nepotism? Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. That is indeed Lee's sister playing the part of Clorinda Bradford, and his dad, Bill Lee, is not only in the movie as Nora's dad, he composed the music for the soundtrack.
Oh, that's right. I forgot his dad. I knew his dad was a musician. Apparently a pretty good one, too.
Yeah. And all that cool still photography? Another Lee, brother David. Although he left out his uncle Christopher Lee, but that's okay.
I don't know how much of that was nepotism and how much of it was, will you work for nothing?
Yeah, speaking of working for nothing, not surprisingly, Lee was using an old Ed Wood trick here. No permits.
No permits.
No permit. That was actually mean of me to in any way compare Spike Lee to Ed Wood, but...
well, yeah.
Did Spike Lee have any regret? Sorry, Spike. Did Spike Lee have any regrets making this film? Only one, but it is a big one. In a 2014 interview regarding Nora's rape scene, he stated, quote, "If I was able to have any do-overs, that would be it. It was just totally stupid. It was immature. I made light of rape, and that's the one thing I would take back. I was immature, and I hate that I did not view rape as the vile act that it is," end quote. I'm going to totally agree with him.
Yeah. Well done, Spike. He stood right up and took responsibility.
Yeah.
Nice to see. You paying attention, the rest of the world?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. And likely so much more. Max, do you have any bits to tid?
Not really, except I do remember those commercials with Michael Jordan. I remember thinking, because I hadn't seen the movie. And I was thinking, this is really weird and interesting, and I don't get it at all.
Well, and I'd heard
but
of Spike
I remembered it.
Oh, sure. And I'd heard of Spike Lee, and I knew he was this big director, and I'm like, who's that guy? Like, who's a little nerdy guy? Like, that's not Spike. It is? Really? That's Spike Lee? Okay. But, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to that plot, shall we? This isn't your usual linear plot. Central is Nola Darling, a woman who feels she needs to explain herself as so much has been said about her. She wants to set the record straight. Seems she's a modern woman and has no interest in playing the usual role women are expected to play. One lover only. She likes sex. She likes men. She just doesn't want to become attached to only one of them. Not unlike the way men get to go about it. She meets, befriends, and beds one Jamie Overstreet, who believes she is his soulmate. But she's also seeing and enjoying the attention of Greer Childs, a bodybuilding male model who's on his way up and enjoys things of higher culture. Last is her odd little friend, Mars Blackman, who makes her laugh. We see interviews with all of them, as well as Nola, and get different views on the whole big relationship. Added to the mix is one Opal Gilstrap, a lesbian friend of Nola's, who thinks that everyone has a little gay in them and that it wouldn't take that much to get Nola to sleep with her. Nola, being very open about the whole thing, eventually decides to have all three lovers over for Thanksgiving. It goes as well as can be expected. Each of her male friends wants the others to go away and be the only focus of Nola's attentions. Initially, Nola's not interested. But when it seems she's in danger of really losing Jamie, she cuts the other two loose and seems to be willing to change so she can stay with him. Or does she? The best is yet to come! Get it?
I don't get it.
The film. So, Max, did you see this? Have you seen it before?
No, this is the first time I've seen it. I've seen clips from it, but I've never seen the whole movie.
Do you remember when it came out? I don't think it got a wide release, at least initially.
I remember hearing about it. I remember seeing the posters, and people were talking about it because, ooh, that sounds naughty.
Yeah,
the title does, but nope. I don't know if I knew anyone who saw it.
We should come back to the title because let's come back to the title because usually right now we like to talk about the actors. And this one's going to be interesting because, wow, look at all those silhouettes on IMDb.
And even the ones who have pictures apart from Spike Lee, there is nobody in this movie I recognize.
No, nobody at all, which is kind of too bad. But there you go.
Zilch.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with Nola herself, Tracy Camilla Johns.
I think she's really good. I got to say, she has this raw sexuality about her that I think comes across really well. But she's not in your face about it. She's not like a femme fatale or anything.
I want to go right up there in the beginning and say that I think Mr. One-Shot Bodine may have done his actors a disservice because we open and we have Nola talking about herself and like basically what we're going to be discussing throughout the film. And my first note on her is her opening monologue is a little actory. It doesn't feel real. And I honestly think that pervades the performances of most of the actors throughout the film, which is also me saying, I don't think it's their fault. I think it's literally Spike with his ear to the camera listening for the film starts going flip, 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 flip. So
I think that's possible, yeah.
The one thing I do like about her performance as this character is she doesn't come off as some nymphomaniac or somebody who's like addicted, because that does come up in the film. She just comes across as somebody who's like, I like sex. I enjoy it. It's fun.
And I like that the movie, in effect, supports that. Because we'll get back to that. But, so I think she does a nice job. But it's true, it is a little actory, as are a lot of the others. I don't know how much of that. I would question what you say. I'm not sure if it's just because they didn't have more than one take, or if that's the way he wanted them to talk.
Well, the problem is that I don't mind somebody talking normally or, like an average person. What I mind is when it feels like they're acting and their pauses and the way they deliver things seems stilted or, again, actory. And especially that opening monologue, mostly the opening monologue she does feels very much like she's reading something. And I didn't care for that. I think later on she sort of settles in okay. But I wouldn't say I think she's amazing, but I think
I think she's good.
Yeah.
What about Tommy Redmond Hicks as Jamie Overstreet?
I think I get him the most of all three. In a way, he's the most traditional of the three guys. I mean, it's surely more than Mars Blackman.
Well, like Mars is almost a cartoon.
Yeah,
and he
really
knows
is.
it. I mean, he says the way he gets women is he makes them laugh.
Yeah. And Jamie Overstreet is the soulmate guy. So we get a quick thing of him fairly early on, his introduction, where it's basically like, I believe in the idea of a soulmate, the idea that there's one person that's right for you. And Nola didn't necessarily believe it, but, blah, 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 blah. The problem is that this, like many of the guys in this film, all the guys in this film, does not leave room for the word no. So I think he, of all the three of them, seems the most realistic of the three men in her life and seems the most real, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, by the way, what do you think of the concept of the soulmate?
I don't believe in it. I mean, that's fate, right? So if I believe in that, then I have to believe in fate, and I don't believe in fate. But also, if that was true, the likelihood of any two people getting together that were soulmates is so incredibly small.
Yeah.
Good luck. And besides, nobody is perfect for another person. There's always going to be compromise. That's just the way it goes. You have to learn that early in life. You all both can't have everything you want because at some point those two things are going to clash. So no. How about you, though?
Well, I believe there's always that one person you can do a podcast with.
I am not your soulmate.
You totally are. You're my pod mate.
My soulmate is Bumpy the Wonder Pony.
I think the whole concept of soulmate is both silly and limiting.
Yeah. And
it comes from the old days, the old belief of the divided soul, that when we're born, your soul is literally torn in half, and you have to find somebody out there has the other half of your soul. I remember when I was a teenager, someone asking me about that, and I said, I hate the idea. What if my soulmate is working in a bean curd factory in Beijing? I'm never going to meet them.
Right.
I mean, it's a silly idea because when you consider the size of the world and the population, like statistically, you would never find them.
No.
And again, like you say, there is no one who is perfect. Perfection is a goal. It's the journey. It's not the destination. Anyway.
One of my favorite authors took that to an extreme. He has said that a soul is actually split into 5 parts. And so he has a story about these people trying to get them all selves together because once they're together, something amazing happens. But anyway, that's Jonathan Carroll, my favorite author. No one else I know likes him, but there you go.
Yeah.
Next is John Canada Terrell, and he plays Greer Childs, and boy, is he pretty. Whoo!
He is built. He is really built. And he is also probably the most annoying character. Because he is very, very much about appearances.
Right.
And he is he is the one who speaks in the most affected way. I think it's either, I forget if it's Jamie or Mars. I think it's Mars who actually says, you want to be white. You're talking like you want to be a white man.
I don't know if I agree that I thought he was trying to be a white man. I think he wanted to rise above, but I'm not even sure he knew what that meant.
No.
He also
the
thinks
trappings of success. Yeah.
But he's also says that he's doing Nola a favor. And it's like, the only thing I will say is that when she is with him, she pulls her hair back, and I think she looks better with her hair pulled back. That's it. Like, that's the only thing I think she gets out of Mr. Childs. So I will say I do love the bit at the end of the film where all of the actors introduce themselves and you get to see that they are not their characters, and he's actually pretty funny.
I liked it. I'm John Canada Terrell. Yeah. And then we get of course our actor director, Spike Lee as Mars Blackman.
As an actor, I think he makes a great director.
I think he's fun. I think Mars is just the most entertaining to watch. Because he is this bundle of energy and nerves.
Yeah.
And he knows, I think, in some ways, that Nola is out of his league. And
I think acting is out of his league. Remember when we
he's a
talked
better
about
director, but
yeah, when we talked about Do the Right Thing, I remember thinking the same thing, that the worst actor in the film was Spike Lee. And it's not that in that one, it wasn't that he was bad. It was that he just wasn't as good as, I mean, to be fair, you had people like Giancarlo Esposito in there and stuff. And it's like, well,
you're Turturro and everything. Yeah, he had some amazing people.
Yeah. So he's kind of cartoony, and I'm not sure how I feel about him in this.
Okay, but we'll get to that.
To be fair, he does give the guys who make girls laugh a chance. Like, he is representing the guy who's not handsome, who's not that successful, who's not tall, who has little spindly legs. He's giving us a chance. So,
not tall. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Well, okay, I am tall.
You hulking peasant.
I'm 6'2". It's not that tall.
It's hulking.
All right, Ray Dowell is Opal Gilstrap.
Well, she's in like what, 3 scenes?
Yeah, but her last scene I thought was her best scene, where she's really trying to get Nola to admit maybe she would sleep with a woman. Here's the thing, though. I kind of hate that, everybody's a little gay thing. I honestly do not believe that. And I get to come at that from the side of being someone who is gay. I know plenty of people that would go, shut up. You're the first person I told, you dimwit.
All right. Yeah. That was you?
Oh, God. I'm never going to get through this show. I don't believe that. I think there are lots. I have plenty of straight friends, and none of them I would generally go, oh, there's a little gay. No, I don't go for that. And I hate seeing it being used as something to try and entice somebody into trying something that they're not going to like. But I think she's actually pretty good. And there's a really nice shot where Nola is talking to Jamie, and they're together, but right between them in the far background, there is Opal, and it's a really neat shot. We'll come back to the cinematography, although we have to get through this real quick.
Yeah.
Joie Lee as Clorinda Bradford. She's there for 10 seconds.
But she's actually good. You believe in the connection between her and Nola, I think.
Sure, yeah.
You believe they're friends. Yeah, and you got, S. Epatha Murkison, who I know mostly from TV. She tends to do a lot of cop shows. And she's Dr. Jameson. And she, I think she's very convincing as a doctor. She has one scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. But she's also the only one in the movie who says, because Nola goes to see her because Greer has said that she's sick. She's a nymphomaniac. She's
right.
Sex addict, whatever. And Dr. Jameson just goes, no, she's perfectly healthy.
Yeah, which
It's
is
like,
nice.
good for you, man. That's great.
Bill Lee has even less of a scene playing
Yeah.
Nola's father, Sonny Darling. I don't care. I'm going to listen to his music all day long because it's great. So,
He's really good.
however
Thank
he's in
God.
this film is fine with me.
Yep.
And then we have a bunch of people, but let's...
Yeah. And the rest.
Yeah, and the rest. So we start off with a quote from Zora Neale Hurston, who, if you don't know, is a very famous black author. And the quote that's most important is, "I have a lot of love and a lot of life to give, but I can't give it all to one person." And I got to give credit to somebody on his first film stating the theme of his movie, making it simple, sticking to it, but not making it seem simplistic. What did you think?
I thought it was, again, I thought it was effective, but I got to say, it screamed film student to me. I'm going to put a quote from my favorite author or a famous author at the beginning. When you start with a quote, that's a crutch, I think. I don't think it's... I don't tend to like it. It shouldn't be necessary. It's nice to see, but yeah.
Well,
It
liked
didn't work. It almost took me out of the movie.
Well, so Max hates books, so there you go. Okay.
Yeah, damn things. They keep falling on me and hurting.
I was going to say, the film is black and white.
Yeah, that was... I wonder do you think that was an artistic choice or the fact that black and white film is cheaper?
Well, as somebody who was in film school in the 80s, I can attest that finding... New York was easier, but finding anywhere to get black and white film printed was not easy. My guess is that it probably was still cheaper to get black and white done. Never mind the film stock itself, because black and white, even still black and white film back then was still pretty prevalent. You could get it fairly easy, because in the early 80s, I got it for high school in my photography classes.
Okay.
So I'm sure, because we do get one color section in there, which...
Yeah, very jarring that was.
Yeah, what did you think of that? Did you understand? I mean, I
Not
get when they
entirely.
do the little Wizard of Oz thing ahead of time, but what do you think about its impact in the rest of the film?
I'm not sure what it was doing there. I like the scene in a lot of ways. It's such a contrast visually. The color's almost dazzling after all the black and white. And it's not just black and white. A lot of the film is very dark. It's very shadowy. A lot of it is indoors. Most of it is indoors. So this is suddenly very wild. And it gives you the idea of like the old Hollywood musical numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Although Busby Berkeley was always in black and white, wasn't he? I think he was.
yeah, I don't think he was around for color.
Yeah.
And the fact that the song quotes the Different Strokes theme.
Did it? I totally missed that.
What might be good for you, so you might not be good for me.
Okay. I think the idea was that this is the fantasy that Jamie lives in, or at least believes in, for his soulmate. Because there is a little like we're about to leave Kansas right before we go. Because what he's done is he's orchestrated a thing for Nola's birthday where there are these two dancers that are doing this choreographed dance to this song. I don't know if he's supposed to have written it or what, but whatever. And it's just the scene of the dance that's in color, and his doing this for her birthday that's in color, where everything is rosy and blah, 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 blah. That's my guess. It was kind of jarring, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really threw me. I was not expecting any of that. Never mind the fact that, wow, we have a dance number in the middle of this. Really? Okay.
I guess I didn't mind the dance number so much. It's just that it was in color in a dance number.
I mean, yeah, it was a diegetic thing, and that was part of, the characters could see it. It was part of the film.
Right.
Yeah, but the color, that was strange.
And of course, the dancer will come back later too. But
Yeah. I like then when we're introduced to Greer. There's the sex scene between the two of them. Really, to me, sums up who he is.
Yeah.
Because she's there, come on to bed. She's lying there, smiling at him, and he is meticulously taking off his clothes so they don't wrinkle, and he's carefully folding them.
He folds his underwear.
Yep, he folds his damn underwear, and she's like in bed. You could just tell, I'm losing the mood here. How long is this going to be?
That scene alone was the
geez.
R rating just right there. It's not the only time we see Nola at least partially nude, but there's a lot of very carefully staged shots. Because
It's very American movie sex. There's a lot of elegant movement. You don't really see much. You do see her breasts quite a lot, actually. Spike tends to linger on those.
Really?
Well,
Wow, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. It's not a very long scene, I have to say, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And I do like, it's a real contrast. Almost right away, she's in bed with Mars. And Mars is doing things like, did I tell you that? He always does that. Did I ever tell you the time? He does these goofy stories. This is when I was a superhero, and he pulls her underwear onto his head. He says, yeah, I'm Panty Man. It's like, this is the other end of the spectrum, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that he does make her laugh, which, somebody who has actually once used humor in the middle of sex, I'm going to say it doesn't always go well.
No, it really does not work that well.
I'm not going to tell you how, but
please don't.
The person in question did not enjoy it.
I know the story. It is pretty funny.
I think it's funny. Some they didn't, but whatever.
Anyway,
yeah. So we've got black and white film, which for me makes it feel older than 1986, just because it's black and white film. We've got jazz in the background, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. And it's in New York City. Did those three things, or the film in general, remind you of another film, one we've actually seen in this series?
In this series? I'm not sure. It reminded me of 20 different films. I mean, it's a real pan to New York. What was the one with the musicians?
That's the one. John Cassavetes' Shadows.
That's it, Shadows. It's a lot like that. Cruel music, a lot of stuff indoors, a lot of stuff in New York. Yeah, absolutely.
But even, I know it isn't improvised, but almost an improvisatory nature to it.
There's a feel of that, yeah.
If I remember correctly, when we did Shadows, one of the bits of trivia was that Scorsese said that was his favorite film of the 60s. Yeah. So I can't help but wonder if he didn't show it while he was teaching at NYU.
He might have. I mean, I know he loved Cassavetes, so he probably used his stuff.
Well, and there's some great cinematography in here. Some of my favorite parts of the still photography in here, because at one point where it's winter, where it's like, well, that didn't happen in 12 days. But the winter shots are really high contrast, almost entirely just white and black.
Yeah, very stark.
Yeah, but there's also those shots I talked about with Nola and Jamie apart, like talking on the other side of the screen, and their friend or her friend Opal in the background. But there's some like the sex scenes are both racy and kind of arty. There's a very art house feel to a lot of the photography in here. And even though it's on the cheap, it feels like whoever he got to shoot this really had a point of view. They had their own flavor. And I thought it really came through. And I thought it added a lot to what ends up being a lot more interesting film than I thought it was going to be, which we'll get to. But what did you think of the photography?
I think it's beautiful to look at. I think this whole movie is gorgeous. You can really see this is the beginning for him, because that's one thing he's really good at. He's great at visual composition.
Yeah.
And this, you can see it's already showing. I think that's remarkable. What did you think of the editing? The pacing of the movie?
I thought it was actually paced pretty well. I mean, it's not long. I think it's an hour 26 or something like that. It's not long. But I was interested the whole while. I don't really think there's any dead spots or any dragging. I
agree. Again, that's something else he's really good at. He doesn't have a lot of stuff that drags in his movies. And I think this is a really good example of that. I think it moves along well. It's still, some points it's leisurely, but the stuff that's slow doesn't last long. No. So it doesn't feel slow.
No, unlike Phil Tucker, for example, who every shot feels slow and drawn out.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who that is, good for you.
Hooray.
Well, and I didn't initially think of Rashomon when I was watching this, but having found out that was a film that really impacted Spike Lee, it's like, oh, well, now I see it. I don't know how I missed it. But for those who haven't seen Rashomon, it's literally a film about, I think it's 3 or 4 different views of the same incident, and how everyone's perspective can be radically different, even though they saw the same thing. And in this case, he's applying that to the idea of relationships, and let's face it, female sexuality.
Yeah, very much. You can tell she is trying so hard to get this to work. She is basically starting, I think Mars is the only one who mentions the idea of polyamory. I mean, he doesn't want anything to do with Greer. He doesn't like Greer. I don't like Greer. Nobody likes Greer.
No.
Greer's a jackass.
Yeah.
And I know he's kidding with him, but he's saying to Jamie, so like, you can have her 4 days of the week. I'll have her 3 days of the week, but I get the weekends.
Yeah.
And
Well, Nola
it's a
doesn't
shame.
seem to do anything, so I'm not sure that matters. but
Yeah, I don't
okay.
see why that would be such a thing for him. And there's even some sort of hinting at it after the disastrous Thanksgiving dinner when they're all sleeping in the same room. And Jamie is, very possessively in bed with her. Greer is sitting in a chair, and Mars is sort of curled up at the end of the bed. But there is one big open space in the bed next on the other side of her that he could take, but he doesn't. They all eventually, or the two of them, leave.
Yeah. Well, now, what did you think about the way Spike Lee is portraying women's sexuality in this film?
Most of it, I think, is really interesting because, remarkably progressive for 1986.
Oh, I think it's remarkably progressive for 2025.
Because she isn't portrayed as a nymphomaniac. She's not a sex addict, I don't think. She likes sex. She wants to love more than one person. And when she tells all of them that she loves them. Mm-hmm. And I believe her. And unfortunately, it violates the traditional idea of, oh, no, love's between one person and one person, and that's it. You can't have multiples. That's ridiculous. And it's incredibly limited. And all I was thinking is, nice polyamorous relationship would probably solve all of this. She says at one point, who's going to own it? Them or me? My body, myself, who owns it? Them or me? And it's going to be me. And it's not just about sex. It's about personal ownership. It's about pride, and it's about your sense of self. And she holds on to it. She has a weak point toward the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand it's a moment of doubt because everyone is telling her, and society's telling her, everyone is telling her, you're supposed to be with one person. You can't do this sort of sleeping with all these different people or loving all these different people. And she says to Jamie, okay, I want to try it. I want to try celibacy for a while, and then I want to be with you. And then she's like, nope, that didn't work.
No. I was really upset initially that she seems to have changed her mind, and it reminded me of another very famous movie character that most people like that I saw and was like, I hate what they did to this character, and that's Holly Golightly. I love the character of Holly Golightly up until George Peppard makes her be what it's like Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
And I hated it because she was so interesting and fun and ethereal and interesting, and she didn't need a guy to come and make her be something. I hated that.
Yeah.
And I was so worried that Nola was making the same mistake in here, and I was so happy when she basically goes, yeah, that was dumb. Why did I do that?
I kind of like the way she just brushes it off. It's not there's not a lot of drama in it. We don't see the breakup happen.
Yeah.
She's just like, yeah, that's not me. And you see her at the end, one of the symbols, I think, are the candles. Uh-huh. She has a lot of candles in her apartment, and they're carefully mounted on nails on the bed frame, so they won't tip over. Very smart. And she, at one point, takes them all out, when she's going to decide to just commit to Jamie. And then she puts them all back. Yeah. And one of the last shots is her wrapped in a blanket of words, literally. Because there's text. I don't know what the text was, but there's text all over the blanket, surrounded by the candles, alone in bed. And that's all she needed.
It was very surprising. I mean, the title of the film, I said we get back to this, I almost think does the film a disservice because it almost seems like it's saying, oh, this is about somebody who has to have sex all the time. And it's like, I don't even think it's about the sex. I think the sex is something she enjoys, but she enjoys the relationship of the men she's having sex with. It's just not traditional. And it's not going to be a single guy. Not even I don't even think polyamory is the answer to this. I think it's literally, she comes out in the beginning of the film with these guys and it's like, look, this is what I want and this is how we're going to do it. And they all initially go, okay, we'll deal with it this way. But it's plainly obvious that none of them are willing to change their views on anything.
Nope.
And finally, none of them basically can handle it. And they're just like, well, I can't, I can't share. I have to have, it has to be me. And I think that says a lot, not only about general male sexuality, but these characters in particular. And I got to say, at the end of the film, I'm on Nola's side. Good for her.
Yeah, definitely. I like the title because the title, I think, is in effect a sort of clever misleading. She's got to have it. We go, oh, you mean sex? No, she means freedom. She's got to have her freedom. She's got to be free to be who she is.
Yeah.
And I think that really works.
I think it's going to be the rare guy that she can meet that can handle this, to be fair.
Yeah.
And in a way, because of what society teaches us, she is, in a way, asking for a lot, but she's open about it. She tells you right up front, it's like, hey, I would like to sleep with you, but you're not going to be the only guy, and we're not going to get married. Can you handle that? And most guys are like, oh, yeah, I can totally handle. I can't handle that at all.
No.
I can't handle that at all.
She, in a lot of ways, she is so much stronger than the male characters in this movie.
Oh, totally. Much stronger.
She tries, she says, okay, I'm going to try to change. No, this doesn't work for me. None of them even try. None of them even consider. I mean, and Mars does it as a joke, but none of them even consider that maybe this could be a way of living.
Well, and except there's that one little bit where we find out, oh, for the last couple of weeks, Jamie's been going out with the dancer that he hired to do her birthday thing. Okay, but that's all right. That's different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, and she is portrayed a little bit as getting jealous.
Yeah.
Which is a little unfortunate. I thought that was out of character.
I'm going to sit there and say that she wasn't jealous. She was just angry at the fact that it was a double standard. There, I fixed it.
Okay.
It's just, it was so refreshing to see a woman's character played like this and to come out on top at the end. That's why I don't want to do that. I don't want her to be jealous. I want her to just be upset that Jamie couldn't understand that he was trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's all there. So
Mike fixed it.
Yeah. I fixed it. Like he needs me for anything.
Do we want to talk about the scene that Spike wished he had done differently?
Sure. It's there.
The near rape. It's a very odd scene.
Yeah.
In that basically Jamie and Nola have broken up, but she begs him to come over. And she wants him to come over to have sex with her. She's very upfront about that. Mm-hmm. And he gets so mad that the sex becomes what you call hate sex.
Yeah.
And you could argue that it's rape, except that she literally wanted him there for sex. But the way he handles it is violent and mean.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the word is for it, but it is a bad thing. And he says, I've never done anything like that. He doesn't apologize. Well, that's what that happened. Like it was her fault.
I want to ask you about the quote that I found where he said, if I were going to redo anything, it would be that scene. What do you think about that? Do you agree with his quote?
I don't think so. I think that scene's kind of necessary because it's also an aspect of male sexuality. A lot of men tie sex to anger. And I think that's what Jamie does. Jamie seems to he tries to come across as, oh, I'm a romantic, I'm a poet, I write songs and this and that. And deep down, he has expectations, and if they're not met, he's pissed.
Well, I think he even says afterwards that he's upset because part of him enjoyed it.
Yeah, he didn't realize he has that aspect of himself. I mean, at least he acknowledges it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't think he should have removed that scene. Yes, it's difficult and it's hard to watch, but it kind of fits, and it again shows that the problem is with the men.
Well, and he says that he treated it lightly. It made light of rape, and I don't agree at all. No. I got to give him credit, though. He didn't Spielberg it.
No, he didn't try to.
Those weren't guns; they were flashlights.
Yeah. Actually, Greedo raped her first. Oh, that doesn't.
Yeah, you want some ice cream? I am very much one of the idea that once a piece of art is made, whatever it is, and you release it, it's done. You don't go and play with it and change things. That means it's not done. If you weren't done, you should fix it before it's released. I didn't find that scene light at all.
No.
I thought it brought out something very important in Jamie's character, something that was actually scary. And it helps more support Nola going, yeah, this is a bad idea. So I didn't enjoy the scene. It's although to be fair, of a rape scene, it was one of the lighter rape scenes I've seen. It wasn't quite so graphic. Everything's from behind, and it's just no rape scene is good, but it's not as objectionable as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was really. I thought it was vile, and I really disliked Jamie even more after seeing it, especially with that little. I kind of liked it comment he makes. So
yeah,
I would like to know more about that quote, but I couldn't find anything more because again, I didn't. Now, if it had been Mars who had done that, then that I could see, okay, that's just weird and you're trying to induce humor here at all. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't find it taking it lightly.
No, I didn't either. I didn't think it was playing it for laughs. I don't think they brushed it off. I think it was very real.
But you know what we don't take lightly is the end of our show where we decide, yeah, all these little parts are nice, but do they actually add up to a film? So I think we should get to
The finish.
So Max,
Yes.
first and only time you've seen She's Gotta Have It. First question, do you know what it is now?
Pudding?
No, I think you were right. You actually brought up a good point. Freedom. It's not sex, it's freedom.
Yep. I think, yeah, I agree with that.
So what did you think of Spike Lee's first big directorial effort?
I gotta say, I've seen a few Spike Lee films, and for me, he's kind of hit or miss. Some of the stuff, Do the Right Thing, I think is terrific. I wasn't really crazy about School Days. CSA is a little heavy-handed, but pretty friggin' disturbing. This one I really liked. I think this is really good, and for the fact that it's his first real film, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of, I don't know if there's any of the usual first-time film stuff, the overuse of close-ups or lingering on shots too much or heavy-handed music or too much narration.
Or gorilla suit with a portal on its head.
Or especially that. Well, I don't know. I thought it could have used a few more gorilla suits, but anyway, or at least some portal hats.
Or a large sloth. That's a
What?
deeper. Don't ask.
Boy, yeah, yeah. It's. I think this is. I like it. I think it's really good. I'm curious. One thing. Who are they all talking to? Who's filming this?
I had a note about that. It's like because there's a point in Do the Right Thing where he breaks the fourth wall too.
Yeah.
And at the time when he did it, we both thought it was a really new and interesting way to do it. This time, not only does he break the fourth wall, he notes the presence of an audience and he calls into question what and why we're watching. So I'm not sure, but it's obvious it's somebody. I'm going to have to guess because Nola starts off saying that she has to get this off her chest. She has to say her side of things, that everyone's heard the other sides. There has to be another character that we don't see. There has to be another friend of Nola that she can call in to make a film, I guess. I don't know. I both thought it was a weird use of the fourth wall, and I also didn't kind of mind it. But if I think too much about it, I'm going to have to come up with, huh?
Yeah, it didn't bother me, especially after a while. You kind of forgot it was there. But I thought it was strange. What did you think of it? This is also your first and only time seeing it?
Yeah, only time.
What'd you think overall?
Well, the acting I don't think is up to par in general, but I don't think it's bad. I just think it could have been better, and quite honestly, other takes might have helped. But I was surprised at how refreshing the viewpoint of a woman character was, especially as written by a guy. Because for me, I came away with the idea that I like Nola. I think she's cool, and I'm glad that she doesn't give in and that she's just herself at the end. Is it going to last her whole life? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's something that she's going to just keep doing until she finally decides something else. Or maybe that is the way she's going to be. Who cares? The point is, it really comes down to, are you man enough or not? And not man enough for her, but man enough to share.
Yeah.
And in my case, the answer is no. I can't do that. There probably are guys out there that can, and I hope she finds them. But it was and this is almost 40 years ago. This amazingly refreshing view on a woman character who basically says, hey, I'm a sexual being. I enjoy it. Don't call me that. I'm not that thing. I'm just somebody who enjoys sex, and I enjoy the men I have it with. I just can't stay with one, just like most guys can't. And I'm sorry, that's not true. None of our friends, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is true though, kinda. So
There's always been the double standard. If a man has a lot of sexual partners, he's a stud. If a woman has a lot of sexual partners, she's a slut.
yeah, and the hell with that crap. So it's really interesting and cool to see somebody making this statement in 1986. So I don't. It's not the best of the two films of his I've seen. But that being said, I think it's very well made for next to no money and is a very important point and is very well worth seeing. And I'm glad that I saw it for the show. So, yeah, I would recommend it. If you haven't seen it, take a look. By the way, it does have some sexy parts in it.
Yes, it does. There's nudity in it, and nakedness and lady parts. So if those things bother you,
and guy ass, there's guy ass and guy shadow. Because we don't see little Greer, although we see the underwear, and I don't think it's that little. Anyway, let's move on from that, because it upsets Max no end. We'll go back to asking you our poll question for this week. And our poll question is very simple. Who is your favorite cinematic female character? Do let us know. If you can't let us know why, we always like the why part too. However you want to let us know, you can use one of these government-approved messages. No, government-approved methods. That's what I wanted to say. You can try to email us directly at us@maxmikemovies.com. Feel free to say that we're wrong about a movie or give us ideas for shows or series. We love those. Don't get nearly enough of those. You could also go right to our website, maxmikemovies.com, find our episode, use our search function. If you're wondering, hey, did they ever cover that movie? The answer might be yes after 355 episodes.
The answer might surprise you.
Yeah, might surprise you. So go to our website, and you can leave comments for the question or, again, suggestions. We love those. That's maxmikemovies.com. If you're on social media, we are on 3 places that I know of. We are on Facebook, we are on Bluesky, and we are on Mastodon as Max Mike Movies. If you like podcast apps, well, heck, there we are, because they get free content and we get to be listened to in Guam or whatever. Who knows? And we get secret admirers that we've never met.
Help us figure out this mystery.
And lastly, if you too would like to be a secret admirer and leave us a little message on our hotline, give us a call at 617-398-7266. That number again, 617-398-7266. Normally, we'd have just the one film left. Actually, no, this would be it. This would be the last film in the series. But Max has blew that one last week when he let you know ahead of time that we're moving on and doing more. So, Max, how are we? How are we moving on and doing more next week?
Oh, I don't know. I just said that. I thought you'd come up with something.
It's your turn to host, Max. You pick next week's movie.
Okay. What was Uwe Boll's first movie?
I wouldn't know.
No.
How about a nice Werner Herzog comedy classic?
Oh, there we go. We can do it. The Chuckle Fest of Werner Herzog. No, we are going to watch a martial arts movie. Hiya! Hata! Yes. Called Sanshiro Sugata, by this obscure Japanese filmmaker, Akira Kurosawa?
Wow.
Yeah.
Max, you got everything wrong.
Oh. Now, apparently it is. This was Akira Kurosawa's first movie, and apparently it's a martial arts film. I'm not sure exactly the translation, but I think the English version was like the judo master of something.
Oh. And where can people see this film, Max?
If you have the Criterion Channel, I think that's it.
Yeah,
oops. It's in the Criterion Collection. If you can find any of the ancient temples where they would temporarily loan you videos for money, or you can get it from your local library.
Ooh, library. We're helping boost libraries.
We like libraries. But that's what we're doing. We'll see you next week. Hatai.
Akisaki, ha!
This has been a co-production of The Voice of Max and The Movie Wrench.